And again, both Zeri and Caitlyn, which I expect to be the AD carry bans moving forward with the current state of the patch, does leave a conspicuous Jinx Aphelios sort of, you know, switcheroo or trade, you know, possibility that we have. And I feel like both of these players have had monstrous performances on both of those champions. So in that vein, they go for the support pick first.
Sure, all right, Eyla gets to grab it. Now, conspicuously, you know, you started spelling it out. Jinx, Aphelios, J-A-N, you know, looking for a Janna? You see the hover? You know I want it. You know I do.
So, you know, this is one of the teams, and, you know, if you look at the match history, Ssumday has been practicing it a lot in solo queue, but I think that goes for every top laner. You need to be accustomed to what strategies your opponents might build out, no matter how fair or unfair you think they are. So, definitely has put in the work on it. We're not going to see that quite yet. On another point on the Thresh, this specifically is Eyla's best champion. You know, their own coaching staff was, you know, talking about it when he popped off in his first game on it. You know, so glad they could get him a comfort pick. And TL continued to prioritize that for the players that have come from Academy, trying to get comfort very early on. And the Thresh is very versatile. You could pair it with, you know, Aphelios. That's taken away now, but the Jinx also quite safe with it.
Yeah, allows you to play reasonably aggressive. Honestly, Thresh, Jinx can absolutely kill. You actually have a lot of freedom to chompers almost anywhere. Okay, did the hook land? Okay, I can chompers in like 400 units. You know, the hook keeps pulling, flay them on. Cool, now they're hard rooted. They're probably outside of minions, so Zap's gonna land. We warm up the machine gun. Like, the damage output is really, really there. It's gonna be really up to how well Thieves can play around that. Obviously, Leona can tank the Zap. She can kind of get in the way and stun the Jinx, so it can be volatile, but I like the TL 2-1-2. As soon as you're off of green-red, your fights look really good, and that's a 2v2 you can kind of win. You can even poke out a little bit there, so that can look good here. We'll see what TL wants. Usually it is jungle in this spot. And with 0 jungle bans, Jarvan is the prize for Santorin.
Jarvan definitely, biggest strength is a lot of the early ganks, but also Cataclysm versus carries that have no mobility. Aphelios is one of those. However, Aphelios is also one that, depending on the guns, if you see white gun, then you have to be very careful about closing that distance and getting trapped in there if you don't have teammates ready to capitalize on your engage. So it's not a kind of brain off type of playstyle. You do need to pick and choose your moments, especially if you're going against closer on Xin. Definitely able to punish some of those scenarios. Now, that means we're going to get all solo lane bans here, because both bottom lanes and jungle have been picked up. Number one solo lane that comes to mind with Team Liquid is, of course, the Zilean. But it's also about how are they going to structure their teams for the team fights here. Are we just going to have backline control mages for both of them, and then either support top lane or tank top lanes? I think that would be the route that 100 Thieves would prefer. They would not like carry-carry matchups on top side versus Bwipo. I think you definitely don't want to go head on into that. So I would expect maybe a little bit of protection bans there. On the other side, you know, Abbeddage has played very effectively on some of these more aggressive mid lane champions. LeBlanc went through the first round of bans, which is kind of rare right now, but not going to survive the second.
Yeah, Zhao more highly prized than the LeBlanc. Abbeddage has not played it yet this season, if you want to count the lock-in games as well. I'm also curious what we're going to see out of Bwipo. He has played more unique champions than 100 Thieves have played games so far this year. He has gotten a lot going on, 8 unique champions. We'll see if it's number 9 or not. Obviously, a couple of his picks are off the table with Gwen and Graves both gone. Those are the only champs that Bwipo has played more than once. And 100 Thieves are going to leave top lane for last if the Azir is locked in here.
Yeah, I think that's definitely for the best. Get Ssumday your counter pick. Make sure that he feels comfortable. If they actually lock in this blind Azir, though, that definitely signals you want a standard team fight. I don't think you want a roaming support with this.
This, by the way, I feel like this is a very good comp alongside a Janna. If you're going to play it, you've got hard engage, you've got enough threats that you're not running any damage from top lane. This seems like the kind of comp I'd be happy to run. Zhao is not the biggest carry for it, but like Aphelios Azir will win your late game team fights, and they're worth ganking.
It's another reason why you save that to last, why red side has more power right now, because everyone's wondering if you are going to go that style or if you go for a more standard team fight setup here. And so Team Liquid have to make their call first. Means Bwipo all right, you've got a blind for all scenarios here.
Yeah.
Are you going to try and pick something that will destroy the tower super early, or is going to have a good blind picked matchup into any sort of counter that, you know, Ssumday wants to pick? Like, Renekton is still available. That also, like the LeBlanc, is usually banned out in 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so what's your pool, right? Of champs that are good when counterpicked by an actual top laner, but also work well when you're going to AFK the lane as Janna. And literally you're away from the lane. Like, Renekton is not the best tower killer. And they're like, you know what? It's Ornn. We're playing hard team fight.
I would have said too, since you see Renekton early on, does not, you know, hyper scale as far as the split pushing. So you might have ended up in a world if 100 Thieves then wanted to force, which they did not on a roaming style, and try and get a low econ Renekton going. To try to answer roamings, but they just go with the standard. Ssumday, back on Ornn, into the Renekton, be that brick wall, scale for your team, hand out your items to Abbeddage, to FBI, 100 Thieves, no strangers to getting blinged out, so Ssumday will do his part there.
Yep.
And of course, jungle attention, that means, is going to look at bottom lane possibilities. You've got Jarvan, who can make passes towards mid, but it's not really about the early 2v2s for that sort of scenario. Much later, Orianna Shockwave with Jarvan will have a pretty big impact, though, for a lot of these setups.
Yep. Well, Bwipo is on his 9th unique champion of the year as he adds Renekton to the pool. Yes, he's played it in previous years, but fun to see how many different looks he has had so far in 2022 on 100 Thieves. Already bringing home a single trophy, looking to make it 3 on the year. Hoping for a promise that, you know, Perks never could quite do for us. So looking for this one now on Bwipo's side with the super team of Team Liquid. They can't even field Core JJ, and they're still winning everything in front of them right now. So very, very scary team. And they're against defending champions. 100 Thieves, you can see, got the star on the jersey. They've won an LCS title. A team I still have very, very high hopes for. I think this comp is pretty solid here. That said, it is so heavily scaling focused that you expect to some degree to get walked over a bit early game.
Yeah. And so we are building in competitive integrity because you can see on stage, Team Liquid are not here due to the COVID restrictions. So we're building in the delay into the game so that everything is copacetic. And we will get right into 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid. Finals rematch. Santorin's revenge is up for grabs. Can he get it? Closer, the finals MVP on Zhao. Both of these two have early playmaking possibilities, although not crazy setup from their lanes. Definitely a decent amount, at least from the supports.
Yeah, I think bot lane can easily be volatile. I'm expecting most likely both junglers to path toward bot to influence that lane because it's low escape AD carries. Like, they can cleanse flash.
That is your volatile lane.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're coming into it, you know, jungler mindset, you're always looking for setup in your lane. Orianna is here. Guess what? That's farm. Top side is Ornn, so that's also farm.
What I will say, though, is Eyla is actually targetable in this lane. Want to point out, FBI does not have cleanse, so we cannot cleanse out of hook, flay, chompers. That is full damage the whole time. Ignite will stick. That'll cut down the healing. FBI can be a good target. On the other side, Glacial Eyla, Thresh doesn't have good innate tankiness. Like, Leona hits W, she's immune. Like, in any early laning phase, free mythic, it's no problem. But you can kill a Thresh here with a full combo.
Yeah, you can actually hit front if you're looking at from the side of 100 Thieves. That's the big takeaway. And the other thing is that your Flay is going to have to save you for multiple things here. You want to be able to use it for the Leona, but you also have to worry about Zhao ganks. Currently, both of them positioned towards top side. So as we said, they should be pathing down towards bottom side to secure the early battlefield. They also, as you can see, both put lane wards there in the brush, although there is a sweeper here on Leona. So early ward placed. Leona, for Huhi, goes back, gets the sweeper switch. Can't get the ward kill out of it, though.
Playing around that.
Early brush control, Phreak.
Yeah.
Hansama says, nice sweeper, rocket in the face, and he has to back off.
Now, TL own the mid brush, which is the most contentious one. Huhi, of course, going to sit down on that one and wait otherwise. Has learned Zenith Blade, has the ability to dash over on Hansama, but probably a bit of an overextension if you go for that one. So they're going to wait. Looks like the wave control will go to TL. They'll get level 2 first pretty much every time. Support's going to save their relic stacks for the second wave. And definitely as it gets thinned out, there's really no hope 100 Thieves gets 2 first. And so as long as you're playing safe around a flash play, guess what? Here comes CS1, here's 2, here's 3, be out of flash play range, right? Because right there, if you don't back up when they did, flash play hook, goodbye.
Yep.
FBI's dead, first blood.
Early brush control, control of the minion wave, pushed it in. Well done here from Team Liquid. Again, Eyla on one of his most comfortable champions. Wave control, step number 1 for this squad. Meanwhile, the opposite is true on top side. We didn't have the camera over it there for Bwipo, but Renekton should for sure get his push. Had access to the minion wave, building up his rage, trying to shove Ssumday in and force Ssumday to miss some of these CS under tower, which so far he has been successful at.
Right now, 13-9. A couple more to get, but I do believe it'll be Bwipo with a CS lead. Although, yeah, it looks like he's dropped a total of 3 CS on Ssumday's side. So not bad. Nice knock-up, not quite in turret range, but still a good trade. And sadly loses a cannon, worth 3 in itself. So well done, Bwipo. Only dropped 1 of his own on his push. Santorin's already here on the bottom side. Skipped Krugs, is waiting around. And as bot lane is bouncing back, Closer's already here to allow 100 Thieves to play for bottom scuttle.
Yeah, you know, both junglers, when there's only one lane that's volatile, both junglers very well aware, so they both pass down and right through the lane. Closer helps them push out. This will correct the early shove from Team Liquid. Now, it does seem like, you know, with Scuttle Crab control and extra vision there too.
Is it a double crab?
Santorin is going to complete the double crab. This is much less of an issue. In preseason, the first crab was taken down. 80% of the experience has been removed. Still full gold. It still is quite nice, but he did not clear his Krugs, so you don't get your Krugs respawning on cycle.
Yeah.
And thus your bottom lane paths as well.
And it's worth pointing out, you still get the full like machete large monster gold, or XP I should say. So even then, like, I mean, like, obviously, like, it is weaker, right? Like, to your point, it is less.
Significantly weaker.
But yeah, it's still 150 gold that was not earned. Closer skipped Wolves on his first clear. He got them now, but yeah, we've got a pickaxe, Jarvan going back into his jungle, and it's a good early look for Santorin.
Yeah, because Closer had the early, immediate, necessary move down to lane to try and bail out bottom lane, skip the extra camp, and will be Santorin retaining his CS lead.
Again, waiting down there. Of course, can always come back to Krugs. If we wait long enough, Raptors will be up afterwards as well. Says, okay, still no play down here. And basically says, okay, did Closer really go back to a full clear, or is he staying around to make a play? Says, okay, I don't think he's staying around to make a play anymore. We'll go back to a full clear. And you can see now he's cycling bot to top. The way he passed was actually very interesting because now, well, I'll do Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp, and I can play for top lane. And it might be perfect timing for a level 6 Renekton dive.
Yeah, I'm very curious if they actually try and go for this, because Ssumday has done a good job of staying healthy, and he's running biscuits. So Ornn actually has a pretty good time sustaining here versus Bwipo. Bwipo constantly shoving in. I don't know if they'll be able to really soften him enough to where it's that threatening with the Jarvan Renekton combo, but does get a little trade there. Plenty of consumables in the hands of Ssumday to try and keep himself safe, and Bwipo.
Oh, he got, okay, careful. No aggro yet, but yeah, Bwipo takes a lot of damage. Obviously wants to get him low because he's clearly trying to play for this dive, expecting that Zhao still clearing top to bot. This is the wave, by the way, at 6. This is the wave that gets you 6, so if there's a dive, it's got to be on this wave, but Santorin is just simply killing his wolves, going to his Gromp. Looks like no dive. Not enough damage on Ssumday.
And he's trying to get value out of his demolish, you know, on turret. Try and work off some of these plates. Do something as Renekton.
Yeah.
You feel some pressure, right? You're getting your CS lead, want to push him in, get your demolish box, soften him up, see if you can make a play for your jungler. Does mean bottom side here, full wards through the river. Easy pathway for this, you know, support reset for Huhi to move back out. They pop the blast cone, they leave the deep vision there, trying to cut off some more of these avenues, and triple control ward through the bottom river.
Santorin, heavily up in farm, by the way, has managed to cycle the jungle pretty well. Crab in the top side coming up in about 5 seconds. He has control of that one, so that is going to be Crab number 3. Another 80 gold to his pocket. You can see the CS difference, a solid 2 camp difference. Yep, Santorin's going to grab this one, no problem. Thank you very much. And now, ready to go for his blue buff. So Santorin's had very efficient pathing where he was covering Renekton for all the top side shoves. Okay, he's going for a demolish, going for a turret plate, going for a recall. Turret plate's almost down there. Was able to cover for that one. And then now that that's kind of settled down, okay, well, I'll grab blue, hand that one off. No problem there as well. Orianna grabbing that right now. So Santorin, bit of pathing Nirvana. Again, keeps that solid 2 camp lead, and all of his lanes feel comfortable.
Meanwhile, the farming continues for mid lane, but Bjergsen here, neither mid laner using their teleport yet. Bjergsen doing quite well for himself with the Orianna. Has still a lot more to pick up as well, so is going to be able to, you know, keep and even bolster this CS lead. Blue buff transferred off as well, means he can easily sustain and has gotten the early tier. So definitely a good early pickup to continue for your scaling. Again, looking towards those combinations you can see later where it is a Jarvan Shockwave Cataclysm combination with a Jinx for the late game. You know, so Team Liquid trying to set up some of that security.
As the Krugs go down on Santorin's third clear. And just kind of covering the bot side as they fight for control wards, and we'll see if Dragon is the play. Closer recalling off the Raptors, and it wasn't warded, so there isn't really good information here. Bwipo will grab his first turret plate, gets his, I think, second demolish of the game. And look, he's got a solid CS lead, right? Going to be about 10 up plus the plate. You know, 300 or so gold lead earned for him. You can kind of compare right now, 24 to 2800. Okay, 400 gold lead as he knocks on this wave, gets the recall stop, always able to dice away to not get the brittle proc, don't allow the extra % health auto attack damage. Ssumday will just complete his Bomby Cinder, and that's going to be wave clear.
So I want to see if they actually put priority. Yeah, the pings are immediately going down on Rift Herald. When Bwipo gets to have this extra timing window pushing up, immediately moves down to leash it himself. Anybody can do Rift Herald. It doesn't have to be the jungler. You know, because of the eye-popping mechanic, it doesn't do that much damage. All you have to do is dodge out on the swipe, which is insanely easy to do as long as you have hands. So even with this ward in the back, Bwipo is able to use his top lane advantage to start up this objective and should be able to get the priority on top side going for them. Santorin, though, him being up there with the extra ward from 100 Thieves means bottom side pressure does result in very effective use of the white gun from FBI. Gets off turret plates himself, and Closer invades onto the bottom camps and gets the respawn timers, though did not early start this dragon. Is going to take his time, fully walks through the jungle to get all of the respawn timers on those camps before they transition over.
So as the minion waves go back and forth, CS is equal in the bottom side, but once again, credit to the 2 turret plates claimed down there by Aphelios. That is a big gold lead. That is a better recall, and that is Berserker Greaves plus the pickaxe picked up now as well. So FBI on a good recall. Looks like he's recalling in front of a non-cannon wave, so it is very quickly shoved in, very quickly cleared, and that means he is guaranteed to lose some CS on the recall. Might still be worth. Again, you want your items, you want to kind of cement your lead. He's up for Berserker Greaves right now, but as Bwipo pushes in topside and gets another wave down, the CS pretty equal, but Bwipo has gotten out of the top lane pressure, out of the strong lane pick for Renekton, has gotten Herald, has gotten 2 plates, and that is soon to be first turret if they stand at top lane.
And you're afforded the luxury of going Cull because there's no threat from the Ornn, so also has been working away on his Cull stacks, little extra pop there, but you're trying to stack up all of these little pops in gold. Every turret plate, every tiny little bit of CS, and the Cull pop for himself as well. So that you're going to have a really strong mid game. And that's where the Renekton is going to shine over the Ornn. Ssumday is going to have access to his team fighting ultimate and can control a large space, but until you get to start handing out those items to the rest of the team too, Renekton can make a lot of plays at some of these neutral objectives in the first couple of dragons. First Rift Herald was easily picked up as well.
Now Hansama on Kraken Slayer may have actually knocked down a turret plate before he took the recall, but at 105 CS at under 11 minutes, he's on Mythic. No boots, nothing else. I think he started Longsword, right? Longsword refillable, so turns that into Mythic, and he's ready to go on his first power spike. Obviously, the sidestep to upgraded boots for FBI is going to delay that one, and there was never that cross-map dragon play, right? It was 100 Thieves giving credit to FBI to push down turret damage, but never the dragon stack as the other side of the map play.
Yeah, 100 Thieves chose just to go for pressure off the tower and then into the jungle using a lot of time, looking for respawn timers and for vision. That means this dragon fight is going to have big consequences. Rift Herald has not been used yet. If you can win this dragon fight, not only would you get dragon, but since you would have to kill people presumably to be able to win it, then you would get to use Rift Herald afterwards as well. So Team Liquid for the first time here are moving into the river to clear out some of the vision. They don't even fully clear out the vision, and Santorin just starts it up because their bottom lane is pushing. Closer is on the way. Yeah. This could be huge for Team Liquid, but 100 Thieves should force him and try and stop here. Huhi's level 6.
Kill it first. Eyla in the front line, level 7, finds a hook. Is it enough? Closer, gonna put the W down. Here comes the dive, and that is a scoop backwards. Goodbye to Jinx. It's 2-4-0. 100 Thieves on the board twice.
And you see their focus on the carries. Immediate beeline onto Bjergsen and Hans Sama. Abbeddage sweeps in on the Azir for the sweep back. Huhi on the ultimate gives him the space. They get the flashes down, double kills, and Dragon number 1 is given over. But Phreak, the big win of trying to win the fight and then be able to use a Rift Herald after getting kills is denied, and then some.
The fact that he walked left off of the Leona ult meant Aphelios actually landed a root onto both, which gave the scoop the possibility.
Yeah, nice shot there from FBI over the wall. Gets the ultimate, gets the setup for Abbeddage. Top side here, response.
Slowing down Shelly a bit, still gonna get the crash, still gonna earn 2 turret plates shared across the 2 of them. The turret's still not down.
And because it was a team fight win in kills for 100 Thieves off of the Dragon fight, FBI again took 2 turret plates by hand. So those 2 Rift Herald plates were paid for in full. Early 2 in the taking process of the Rift Herald, but then 2 here down off of the Dragon fight too, kind of his reward for winning, for hitting that ultimate to snare and set up Abbeddage. That does mean we also still have so many targets to go for. No flash on Bjergsen, Hans Sama, or FBI or Abbeddage.
Alrighty. Gold up and down, then up and down. A close game, a Dragon difference to be sure, but the money is on the Renekton and the Jarvan for the most part. Otherwise, the money is on Aphelios, and guess which one looks a whole lot better? Probably the money on the soon-to-be 1.5 item AD carry.
Yeah, and he's got the playmaking mythic as well with the Gale Force. You can definitely have some spicy plays with the Aphelios, whereas Hans Sama looking to be that team fight pure DPS with his Kraken Slayer. Safety will be provided by Eyla. He's hoping good positioning and separation from Eyla will be enough that he doesn't need, any sort of Gale Force movement. And Jinx always likes to be pumping to take full advantage of the extra attack speed from Excite and everything like that. So max DPS there. Aphelios though, see if he can make some plays with the burst damage. FBI currently richest in the game.
Ah. Feels good. This should be the entire turret. I believe Pulse will always come through, will always get the kill, and there's first turret of the game. 450 onto the Renekton. Huhi is flashless, is a mark, but he's tanky enough as the stun comes down the slow, and Eyla will drop actually a solo kill. He dodged the Leona damage entirely, but still died. Just barely living a Santorin. I believe he just survives the burn. 100 health left on him. Closer can't flash for the W. Doesn't want to sidestep, but I think if he went to the right, there could have been the E possibility. So just flashed to safety. But that is another fight, 100 Thieves, another 300 gold going to the AD carry. That is another 300 gold again going to the AD carry as bot turret falls.
Your boy Huhi and FBI showing why they were heralded as the best bottom lane in the LCS last year.
Still true.
Beautiful dodge from Huhi, and then the response counter engage. Well done by the bottom lane. Top side, though, again, a pain point.
Bwipo is saving his stun, waiting for the teleport to be used. Once Shockwave's in range, you can now burn it, and you know TP won't matter. Very good by Bwipo. He's played against SOAS, right? Like, you have to at a certain point realize, I have to hold the stun. TP to safety, waits for his mid laner, knows it's always gonna happen. Good kill on the top side.
Yeah, and just look at this. So, Closer, he walks back just in time. I don't believe he showed at all on that controller. He was just outside of vision. Huhi then dodges the EQ, puts pressure back onto Eyla. He gets locked up. FBI hits another ultimate. And with Closer coming down the river at the correct time there and playing around the vision, huge sweeping victory, 400 Thieves. Meanwhile, though, Ssumday paid the price on the top side, and Abba
late. Didn't quite get the timing. I mean, it's a very low cooldown to lose on Bjergsen's side. Good escape by Abbeddage. And 100 Thieves have only given up 1 kill all game, and that single dragon. The bot lane is pushed in, but just swept up by FBI, going Collector second.
I will say, at least for the side of Team Liquid, since Bjergsen made the roam up there, they were able to get some money in one of the better scaling carries, instead of all this money just funneling into the Renekton. So a kill onto Orianna, pretty big for them. Should allow Bjergsen on next reset to be able to finish up Mythic to try and catch up here, even though he started with the kind of delayed build there since he rushed into tier to start stacking his tier quickly so he can have a really strong 2-item power spike. I actually just love the new Seraphs that give so much ability haste. Really good for a lot of these mid laners that are kind of DPS mages, can provide so much with the lower cooldowns with this champion between shielding teammates as well as putting out some carry DPS. This will be Rift Herald number 2 though. Picked up no problem.
All right, and Thieves can look for the next turret to try to bully. The first one, of course, went to Team Liquid, went mostly to Bwipo. I guess a half, but then he killed the turret, so, you know, feels like mostly to him. Hot turret killed by Bwipo as well, though the turret plates were mostly claimed by Hansama. It is still him getting this done. TL going to get their second dragon here as well. So you can see the gold is in TL's lead. I still want to caveat that it is on Renekton. That is always going to be somewhat difficult to play around eventually, because Aphelios is a bigger threat, but they've been dragon stacking. Bwipo is still going to be a menace for this game. It's not like the clock has suddenly run out for them. I don't want to give that impression over. Just want to caveat the gold lead a very little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how mid-game plays here, too. Since Herald is still in Closer's hand, FBI being hovered right now for the possible topside play. They already completely annihilated the bottom one. He got all of the plate money as well as the turret money down, so they continue to just funnel as much as they can into this Aphelios. The Team Liquid front line is going to be very health stacking heavy. So an Azir with the Leandries and an Aphelios actually will be able to fight kind of front to back comparatively, if you consider Ornn and Leona also throwing out the hard CC. So 100 Thieves actually feel pretty confident in their progression too, and it's going to come down to a lot of this setup, you know. The possibilities of a Jarvan, EQ, Shockwave, or Eyla finding a Thresh pick are there for Team Liquid. But if you control that vision, 100 Thieves are feeling pretty happy with the setup, even considering 2 dragons stacking in the favor of Team Liquid. And now it starts to get precarious when you get to the Soul Point dragon fight.
Yeah, and it's Hextech Soul. It is the winningest dragon soul of League of Legends last I checked. Like, this is one that really tends to snowball into a victory. Turns out that when you Orianna Q a minion and it still slows the enemy team, that's really good at like getting picks out of nowhere, because you can just hit a minion and it chain lightnings out and suddenly there's CC you never had access to that you could have never had access to. Jinx autos him. Yep, here you go. There's the chain lightning. Suddenly Jarvan's in range now. Isn't that great? There is a lot that comes out of this soul. And of course it's still a long way away, but the way it's been going, Team Liquid's on pace to get it before 30 minutes.
Yeah, looking good. Ssumday as well. Even though he died once early on, he can start upgrading his own item now, and we'll be able to hand out the extra upgrades to teammates upon another level. So they continue to kind of push forward. And it looks like with the early investment here of river control, they're moving a lot of their control wards and their vision investment down to this side. They want to cut off the dragon stacking even before it gets to the soul points. Trying to really utilize Ssumday on this Ornn for the team fighting for controlling the river. And they do have the Unleashed teleport ready for Abbeddage, who on Azir, actually, even though it is a control mage and is squishy, has a decent amount of mobility, so it's often utilized to push out stuff like topside.
So we move on to the next item. Seraph's Embrace done, finalized in there for Bjergsen. Ready to have a big team fight happen as Ssumday's one going to pull the trigger. Goes on to Eyla. The Lantern comes in afterwards. A flash to safety from the support. Could have been jumped on by Zhao. Probably would have meant a kill as the CC would have landed into the Zhao knockout. That would have meant a death. And so it is a 5-minute cooldown gone for the Team Liquid support.
And I want to highlight, okay, this is a trick I haven't done yet because on our screen for the telestrator, we don't have the timer, but it doesn't go up. I want to circle the entire timer.
Yeah.
But you get the point. The time that they go for this play will be plenty for both ultimates to come back up before the dragon.
Yeah.
It's so intelligent to go for a pick like that, to burn a flash on a squishy member that is also a frontliner and just expend your teleports. There is a lot more reasoning than just, hey, we see him, let's just spend our ultimates, 2 ultimates for a flash. It is all about setting up for this dragon fight. So really good forethought here from 100 Thieves. They move in, they try and get vision way early, then they blow out an important flash way early, and they'll have plenty of time for their ultimates to come back up on cooldown.
1 minute to go. And we know, yes, the Ornn Horn's going to be up, the Solar Flare as well. We're going to have a climactic team fight in about 50 seconds. 2 full items on the Aphelios. Went for a more expensive build. Hansama's second item is 500 gold cheaper, so he's up in slots but lower in DPS.
Ooh, I do want to point out, in response here, we've got a stopwatch for Eyla. So all eyes are going to be on him. You know, he's a very vulnerable target as the Thresh, but he does have a stopwatch for a possible surprise play if no one's checking inventory, which all pro players do, so.
Yep. Sometimes you get surprised. Yes, you expect them to know. I have seen, though, the overextension once in a while. Sometimes mistakes happen, and we'll see what it looks like in this one. 20 seconds to the Dragon. 100 Thieves do not want to give away the third Dragon. They do not want to give away the chance at Hextech's Soul. And so they play around the bottom river. Renekton coming around the bottom side here. We do have the chance at a flank as, yeah, Bwipo's here. And suddenly, oh, it's going to be TL owning the vision. 100 Thieves may take over mid lane, but third Dragon, really, really valuable.
Yeah.
Bwipo in the middle of the team, gonna be stunned up. The rest of the squad is zoned out for now, but here comes the Jarvan. It's Fast Brothers, it's a shockwave possibility. Flash safety for Huhi, but it's going to be enough. Over the top comes the CC out of Ornn. Closer is safe. Santorin knocked up is not. 100 Thieves win the team fight.
Really good pathing here from 100 Thieves. They get pressure through mid into the river. No DPS from Team Liquid there to back up Bwipo and Santorin. If you separate the front line from the DPS, Phreak, your front line will fall so quickly. Very good job here. 100 Thieves, just simple push out mid, then go into river. That's why this is the most repeated thing from any analyst pushing out mid into a river fight. It's because Team Liquid DPS trying to handle that wave could not close the distance there. You know, Eyla had no flash, so he didn't want to expose himself, and it means Santorin and Bwipo cut off. They give up 1 kill and 1 Dragon to the side of 100 Thieves.
All right, and if you thought the scaling favored 100 Thieves, it feels like we are moving in that direction. Azir, Aphelios, Ornn. Ornn is maybe the top lane king of late game. He literally just prints you extra gold once he's level 13, 14, 15, 16. The Gale Force order being upgraded. There's more to go where that came from. Lockets on both sides just got completed. They weren't up for that fight. And even without Locket, the fact that Bjergsen, Renekton, Jarvan couldn't really threaten the 100 Thieves. Like, Shockwave hit like the squad and everyone came out okay. It's a little bit harder from here.
Yeah, if Jinx cannot hit, you are not winning that team fight.
Yeah.
I don't care what spells you're hitting over there, but Hans Sama being sectioned off towards the mid lane from the early push from 100 Thieves, again, was just so pivotal for them. So, yeah, Bjergsen tried to go over, give some moral support there, cheering him on. Hey, sorry guys, you know, try and buy some time. Maybe they could get the lantern to save him, but not able to get the lantern because it was a really good wall headbutt from Ssumday. And not able to get in range, so good, well executed there from 100 Thieves. Ssumday, you know, Ornn, he's no stranger to Ornn. This is a strategy that 100 Thieves have used long before even all these other old Golden Guardians members joined the team. So, you know, he's definitely in a comfort zone. Level 15 now on the Ornn, already upgraded FBIs, and approaching the level 16 as well for the extra rank in the ultimate, and continued Gucci upgrades.
Yeah, but 100 Thieves really not looking to play that aggressively. They say, okay, Orianna's a mid, she can clear waves. Not even gonna bother with turret. I think he even had green gun available for FBI. He's like, nah, still not worth it, don't care. It's whatever, let you go for it. So no rush from close out. 100 Thieves, again, playing a very, very slow-paced game. You gotta show up for the Dragon. Okay, eventually you send Ssumday over to kind of answer top side, but Bwipo gonna get another demolish, gonna jump right back out. And slowly but surely, like, he is getting stuff done on the sides of the map. He is creating pressure. That's the power of this Renekton. But the 5v5s have been tough for Team Liquid.
And the thing is, I think he hits a brick wall at some point. You can get some of these outer towers, but you can't split push that hard. Look at the minimap right now. Azir is actually drawing teleport cooldowns out of the side of Team Liquid because they don't allocate anyone over there to handle this wave. And Abbeddage also slams on turrets. The Azir, decent amount of AP now, working through those ones, so they get the teleport out of Bjergsen. By drawing him away from mid, they just open up FBI to get even richer, already the richest in the game. With an Ornn upgrade on top of it, gold stats won't even show that. And it's so smooth here from 100 Thieves. Meanwhile, back to the Renekton hitting a wall point. Now he is level 16, but it's hard for him to split push to success. It's even more difficult to team fight as a Renekton into Azir, Ornn, zone control. You know, and the Leona as well can feel, though, Huhi will probably be looking for the more offensive ults towards the TL carries. So it does make it harder for Bwipo to operate in team fights. We'll see if he can do it with a good flank or something like that, but 100 Thieves are positioning themselves for a very nice 3-item spike. Aphelios, Infinity Edge comes in. This is your dream scenario, Phreak, right?
Yep.
You are the first AD carry to 3-item power spikes. You get Infinity Edge, you feel like God.
It feels really, really good. Only downside is Actually, no. I don't want to say much. I'm generally actually pretty okay with collector builds. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but basically I think it is a slightly underrated item. There's a lot of talk about the math of what it does, and turns out execute is really strong. So still a fan of this build in this order. I think it's actually totally reasonable to do against even this composition. And yeah, he's going to be an absolute teamfight beast.
All right, well, let's see it then, because 45 seconds on this dragon. Put the timer up, Phreak. I honestly don't think Team Liquid will risk much towards this second one. 100 Thieves once again push mid first, then move into the river. They already have control wards in place.
Is Bwipo going to be the big threat, though, is the question. He's been doing so much for the squad. He's got among the highest CS in the game, more than anyone else on 100 Thieves. He got them the bottom scuttle. He killed almost bot lane tier 2. And is it a cross map? Is it a Baron look for the dragon? 100 Thieves mostly on the bottom river.
I would keep my eyes on Bjergsen. He just hit death cap. TL have a 3-item carry themselves. If you can get a good delivery here.
Bwipo slices and dices away from his teleport. Knockup can be found as Santorin runs away from Huhi. No major cooldowns burned. Blue trinket spots. Will they stop Santorin from knocking it down? A little bit of poke comes across. Looking maybe for the next mid-wave before they do anything else. Hansama going to heal back up off of Raptors. Nice play with the Chompers to get vision. Then knocking it down from there. Now we go ahead for the mid-wave yet again. FBI has wave clear. Would love to get to white. I believe that's going to be after blue. Gale forces back away. No kill just yet. Bwipo didn't burn the flash. As the ultis come across and knock him out of the backline. Orianna, but a stopwatch for Bwipo. Not going to keep him alive. The flash will. No, it won't. Thank you, Collector. Execute. The flash scoop is flashed away. Abbeddage is flayed back in. Beautiful by Eyla. Killed by Hansama. A 1-for-1.
Even after that trade, what really matters, can they get the objective? Because that's 1-for-1. And so it looks like it will be Dragon for 100 Thieves. They get the extra chunk. Hansama is too low to go for it. No shockwave down. I mean, Bjergsen also has no threat. With that sweep attempt from Abba, he did get 3 flashes. So yes, he dies, and he looks silly because they flashed his ultimate and he goes down. But that is 3 long-lasting cooldowns. Plus they get the dragon, and I believe it was FBI who gets the shutdown gold from Bwipo. Let's take a look. This Renekton, in addition to having a hard time team fighting into, Glacial Augment Leona, also, shutdown money to FBI, courtesy of Collector there. Bjergsen and Hansama both flashing away. They didn't get locked in, but now they have no flashes for the consecutive team fight, and they are prime targets for Leona Ornn, some of the longest range engaged spells we have in the entire game.
They keep progressing forwards as Hansama goes towards some lifesteal. Might be a Ruin King angle, actually, but wait to see what comes out of this, as Huhi will be shockwaved in, puts on the W, and just goes in a half. 1k HP still left in this one. Block it is a 90-second cooldown. You don't really want to use it on just yourself. It is a big team fight button. That is such a long cooldown that, yeah, you're often caught without it. So we look at the attempt at Baron, maybe control wards in the pit. 2 control wards in the river here as well. Thankfully, you can put down a lantern and auto with a rocket, so pretty easy for Thresh Jinx to get control wards back out. Get rid of that vision. Still some poke from Bjergsen. Ornn comes across, finds the back limit, not a whole lot more. They're able to walk away safely.
Again, no carry flashes, so the Ornn ultimate being down is a big one. Still can rely on Huhi though. Leona fishing around for possible openings. Scott clearing out all these control wards around the Baron. TL, because of that exchange, will get to undo a lot of the work that 100 Thieves just fought for in the river, though.
Look again. Well, still 3 minutes on the Dragon, but now tied 2-2 in that score line. Gold remaining, actually now more than 1,000. TL actually, generally speaking, slowly grown the gold lead, it feels like. Still the lion's share, the 50 CS lead on Bwipo is a good portion. But you can see, yeah, the graph has kind of remained. Yes, there's dragons being killed during this, ocean of blue, but TL do have the larger inventories, and now we have the attempt at a Baron rush. Yep, that is getting just burned down. Baron claimed. Gold lead nearly grabbed by 100 Thieves. Be careful, though. How strong is your front line? Jinx is free-firing. Ssumday stays alive, still at 200 health, and now we look at Bwipo on the side, but he drops. Huhi trades a stun, then it's going to be Ssumday staying alive, but FBI forced to flash away. Does get away with it for now, but does Santorin find his next engage? No ulti. The flag comes down, but nothing else to be done. It is a walk away. 100 Thieves 1-for-1 with a Baron claimed.
Crescendum melts objective.
Yeah.
So quick here from 100 Thieves. Right in over Scuttlecraft Vision, don't care. Immediately, so many of the bouncing blades, and they do get it. I think payment received, you know, very happy to, again, trade 1 for 1, but plus the objective. This one, way bigger, obviously, because it is the Baron. Eyla, though, starts it off by hooking in Ssumday. Nice little zone that you can see everybody in a semicircle burning him down. They create some space for themselves. So then when Huhi does go in, there's nobody else to back him up. And it is a 1 for 1 trade. Bwipo on the top side was getting cut down by those same Crescendum blades that cut down Baron. And it is going to be Baron up here. Once again, another reward for 100 Thieves. So they have been unperturbed by these marginal gold leads. Yeah, the gold graph means something for Team Liquid all game long. But if you look at the composition that they chose and the setup here, the 100 Thieves are never sweating. So very controlled game here from 100 Thieves. Ssumday, honestly, just looks so at home on this Ornn on the front line. Even getting hooked in there and starting it out, still can provide the ultimate from range. And now with the Baron buff, 100 Thieves are back for more. 4 kills, 700 gold bounty on FBI, 4 items, and now he's got the best of both worlds. The Lord Dominix is in. He can melt anyone.
Yes, he can. It's going to look good. The Aphelios is still doing beautifully. Has a stopwatch just in case. His summoners are down after all, so a dive could look scary. A good flash play, a Jarvan dive, a Renekton flank, all those are possibilities, so a stopwatch might give him what he needs for Azir to scoop them all back out, and it looks good again.
Speaking of that scoop, look at these flash cooldowns. Bjergsen and Hansama, both those cooldowns are right about back up. So at the very least, for Team Liquid, even though they're dealing with this Baroned up siege, they've got some capabilities on their carries, both flashes, plus the cleanse, plus Thresh reposition.
There's going to be the wave going down. This is the last one until you play for the Dragon. You can see already closers on the way back. All right, bot lane cleared. Next wave will give us some vision. There's not a whole lot TL can do about it, so just make sure they don't sneak up on us. And you can see, yeah, they're going to wait inside the jungle. There's a well-timed Scryer's Bloom. All right, yeah, we're nothing down there. We'll take a couple of resets, but keep in mind Abbeddage has a teleport, so we can always join if needed. Nah, they're just going to burn it down. 3 dragons in a row go to 100 Thieves. And in their road to defend their LCS title, they are commandingly, just confidently in control of the game over lock-in champions Team Liquid.
They certainly are. Looks like 100 Thieves invested in Hextech, and it's actually paying off pretty heavily for them. Again, no pressure as far as the timing either. Abbeddage consistently back out to the side waves. He's got his teleport ready. He's level 18 Azir, and he went 3rd item Banshee's Veil for the extra safety. So when he's tending to side lanes, once again, he doesn't have to worry about the return possibility of the jump play with the stun. Extra spell shield completely nullifies side lane Renekton, and you just get outranged, outmaneuvered, and gives full side lane control over to the Azir. So not only does Azir have great team fighting and bring you the peel with the ultimate, but also doing so much work for 100 Thieves side lane control. They can easily set it up once again for their own neutral objective.
Closer, go ahead and just take some gold and XP out of the bottom side. Not a problem at all. Just slowly but surely. I mean, unperturbed is really like the phrase that is sticking in my head.
You like that?
Because 100 Thieves, if the game is remotely close, I feel like just kind of wins at 4 items, right? Like they're champions, I think, pound for pound, except for maybe Jarvan for Singed Out, even that one's close. I'm like, yeah, I would have Aphelios and Jinx at 4 items. I'd rather have Azir than Orianna at 4 items. I'd rather have Ornn than Renekton at 4 items, right? Like, hey, as long as we're chilling.
They're also bedazzled items.
They are bedazzled, right?
Everybody wants a bedazzled item.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ssumday, for handing those out. AD carry, mid, and jungle, and support. So everybody's matching bling now.
But that's kind of the point, is that like they really just kept control. They always made sure they played for their bottom side, right? FBI got solo turret, then solo turret, second herald, solo turret FBI, just get him ahead, hit when the team fights. Guardian Angel now done. He's full build at 36 minutes. And they're ready to go for Dragon Soul in 3.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 3 very different games today, Phreak.
Yeah.
All unique snowflakes and great in their own way.
Good.
Okay, that's my stance on it. Let's take a look at the pinnacle of this game. Will crash down, 2.5 minutes on that timer. Full vision coverage by 100 Thieves. Level 18 for both their solo laners. All Ornn items have already been handed out. And they're even looking for the aggressive play ahead of time. I will say one thing though, Bwipo trying to get something done there on the Renekton. Maybe he can, you know, get a lane pushing for themselves. Baron's in 17 seconds, and you can just push up this timer. Don't even have to wait for the soul.
So yeah, what's the play? Because Bwipo's gonna kill bot lane tier 2, 800 more gold in the inventory. It'll flip the gold lead back to Team Liquid. Like, that's definitely gonna die with Demolish. And so now, with his Hull Breaker, by the way, he is really playing side lane, trying to get stuff done over there. Turrets die faster, he's got more stats. Okay, he's still getting stuff done. At some point, you might have to answer the inhibitor. Ornn has done so, TP up for both. But which team looks better? No level 18 Renekton or no level 18 Ornn? He's already given the items over. But thankfully, Thieves still have a frontliner in Huhi. As the wave gets cleared, Baron's getting sniped fast. Santorin over the wall. Santorin, does he get vindication from Lock-in? Does he land the smite? The flag will time out, but he's still got flash if he needs it. And they just keep it aggro. 3k health right now. Bwipo having a bit of a hard time against the Ornn. Huhi wants to find his way in, but he's still dancing on top of wards right now. Found out, puts the shield on. When's the engage coming across? Because Closer is going to lose his Guardian Angel in a second, but no, they just delete Santorin. They win the fight on both sides of the map. FBI is unstoppable, and 100 Thieves will just not be stopped. They will not be perturbed. They will claim the Baron.
100 Thieves bounce back. Lock-in tournament, what? It's now Spring Split LCS. 100 Thieves gonna get themselves a Baron, and they'll be right back out to pushing. Honestly, I was having a fun time watching the bruisers up there in top lane brawl, but trying to gain some ground, but it's just so hard gaining any ground versus this Ornn that has also now the Warmogs is completed. So even if you work for a good 5 minutes punching this Ornn, trying to gain some health lead, then he just backs off and regens right back to full out of combat.
Items aren't the most important thing here. We got to fight right now around the bottom river. Huhi gonna run away. They've got a slow and a knockup and a ton of damage on the Bwipo. Good night. Shut down claimed. He had so much farm. 409 CS. Indeed, he was worth bonus gold as FBI lines his pockets fruitlessly because he's already full build. His GA is ready from cooldown. This is going to be Dragon Soul. You probably want to pull it out of the pit, make it harder for Jarvan. Jinx Marker comes down. Abbeddage going to scoop them away to make sure they can claim this one, and they will do so. Thanks for the soul. Thanks for the team fight. Already we've double killed 2 more of your champions as Eyla and Bjergsen go down.
And deep breaths. Honestly, this game was so calm from the 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
Easily executed here. Now you get to win with the Dragon Soul in tow as well. Increase that win rate there for the Hextech Dragon, Phreak.
Good job.
Happy to manipulate some of those stats. And 100 Thieves will be happy to forget about Lock-in and be undefeated in the LCS Spring Split.
The stories of 100 Thieves' demise may be greatly exaggerated, but Team Liquid are living this death right now. Ornn not even needed. The team has already fallen. Well done, 100 Thieves. The commanding victory.
Well done here for 100 Thieves to bring it back in a very calm manner. Back in the studio, they put the banner up, and they put
True.
It's been such a long kind of rivalry, you know, because their first finals, when 100 Thieves were first in the LCS.
3-0 clap.
Yeah, it looks like 100 Thieves have a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
Trying to get a victory back here. They successfully do in the Spring Split, so there you go.
And it's exciting for 100 Thieves with the next new dynasty, because obviously, at the very beginning, it was like, okay, there's a CLG TSM rivalry, and then TSM went to win, like, the first, like, 6 of 10 LCS splits, and it's like, okay, yeah, in the end, everyone fights each other and TSM wins. And then we had like the 4 in a row, back-to-back TL. And it's like, I wouldn't say bored of this one, but like, we've got it, TL. You're clearly the best. And it's cool to see like is this now the 100 Thieves run? I'm saying
Got a banner over there. It looks
saying
cool.
off of one game.
Different color.
I realized that. Yeah, right. It's the first red we've had on any banner for the LCS, so that's cool to see. The black and white motif still there on everyone else's, but I'm wondering if it is enough, right? Because they clearly had it to win last time. It's the same 5 players for the most part here. They just beat the other best-looking team in Team Liquid, so like if this keeps up, they just are the dominant team for the year.
See, I think a lot of this too is people going really far off very limited data of small sample sizes and just jumping to like, okay, EG is the best team. They're undefeated in lock-in. Never mind. They suck. Team Liquid. They're the best team because they won. Oh, never mind. 100 Thieves are the best team because they just beat them in the LCS spring split.
Yeah.
What you need to take away, all of those teams are good.
All those teams are good, including Dignitas, which are coming up pretty soon. So 100 Thieves will win out in our summer.